let's take a big collective breath in. So everyone just breathe in and fill the entire capacity of your lung space. And then sigh, let it out. Do that again, breathing in, filling the entire capacity of your lung space. And sigh, let it out. And just allow your shoulders to kind of drop down away from your earlobes. And start to just feel into all of the areas of the body that are making contact with the ground. And see if you can just allow all of those parts that are making contact with the ground to be even heavier. With every exhalation, all those parts get even heavier and more relaxed. And then because the hips and the legs are so heavy and relaxed, you might start to feel like the crown of your head and the length of your spine is more spacious, is a little bit lighter. And for the last few moments here, can you reach the crown of your head just a few centimeters higher toward the ceiling? Just grow a millimeter or a centimeter higher toward the ceiling. And for these first few moments, really the point is just to establish your breath, to kind of come into your body a little bit and start to notice your breath, start to establish an easy rhythmic breath. So if you've kind of sort of done that, then you're doing it perfectly. And then from here, you can start to blink the eyes open if they are closed and drop your chin down towards your chest. And then move your chin over top of the right shoulder and let the left shoulder be really heavy. So drop the left shoulder down. And then if this feels okay, you can even let the left fingertips come down to the ground and walk the left fingertips away from the left hip. So now you'll feel this gentle opening all the way down from the left ear, all the way down to the left fingertips. Staying here and breathing. And then exhale, drop your chin down towards your chest once again and let it roll all the way over to the left shoulder. Drop the right shoulder down. And let the fingertips of the right hand, maybe they come down to the ground and walk away from the right hip. One more breath here. And then once again, drop the chin down toward the chest and just stack the head over top of the shoulders once again. Take an inhalation, sweep your hands around and up. Gaze up at the top as your palms meet. And then exhale, pull the palms down in front of your heart. We're going to do that 2 more times, each time taking up a little bit more space. Each time taking up a little bit more space, becoming even more broad across the chest. Good. And then just if you're sitting on something, just move that off to the side. And come into your hands and knees from here. We'll move through a few rounds of cat and cow. So line up your wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Take an inhalation, drop your belly to the ground. Gaze up toward the ceiling. And then exhale, push your palms into the mat, push your knees into the mat, round through the upper back, gazing towards your belly button. And then again, inhale, belly drops, gaze lifts. Exhale, pushing, rounding through the upper back. Move through a few more rounds like that on your own. And just more firmly establishing this connection between your body and your breath. Breathing in takes you to a new place. Breathing out takes you out. Good. Okay, it's come into a neutral tabletop position. So you're gazing about a foot or two in front of your fingertips. Tuck your toes, and then just hover your knees away from the mat. Just hover your knees about an inch or two away from the mat. And stay here and breathe. So your body hasn't changed too much. All you're doing is just hovering the knees away from the mat. And the closer your knees are to the mat, the more difficult this might be. Taking one more breath here. And then on your exhale, send your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Pedaling the knees when you get there. Bend one knee, bend the other. Just allow the hips to sway a little bit. Good. Take a peek at your palms and just make sure the entire length of your thumb and the entire length of your pinky finger is really pressing into the ground, as well as all of the pads of your fingertips. Good. From here, start to walk your feet all the way up towards your palms. Just walk your feet, tiny little steps, all the way up to meet your palms. Eventually, you'll have to bend your knees and fold over your legs. Allow the crown of your head to drop down and be heavy. Maybe say yes and say no. Just allow the crown of your head to sway in space. And then take an inhalation, lift up halfway. So now your spine is coming to parallel with the ground. Your sit bones reach back, the crown of your head reaches forward. Exhale, fold. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, come up halfway, hands to thighs or shins, reaching forward. Exhale, fold. 1 more time like that. Good. Plant your palms. Step back to a downward facing dog. I just want to workshop upward facing dog with you guys really quick. So everyone come forward to a plank. Come forward to a plank. Good. So make sure your heels are stacked over your toes, shoulders over wrists. Good. And then from here, lower down to a hover. So drop your elbows, let your elbows brush along your ribs and hover, and then pull your heart forward and through into upward facing dog. Yes. Okay, so in upward facing dog, the only things that are touching the ground are my palms and the top of my feet. So lift your hips away from the ground, lift your legs away from the ground. The only thing that is touching are my feet and my hands. Good, and then tuck the toes under and send the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Let's do that again. So come forward to a plank. Hold your plank for a breath or two. And then exhale, let your elbows brush along your ribs and hover. And then inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. All right, step your feet to the top of your mat behind your palms and fold forward. Good, folding forward. Take an inhalation, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Come all the way up to stand from here. Lead with the heart. Sweeping your hands around and up, gaze up. And then exhale, pull the palms down to land in front of your heart. Good. So from here, we're going to move through a few sun salutations. So as you're ready, take a big breath in, sweep your hands around and up, gaze up. And then exhale, fold over your legs. Bend your knees, bend your hips. Take an inhalation, lift up halfway. Ardha Uttanasana, spine is parallel. Exhale, fold, plant your palms. Step your right foot to the back of your mat and drop the back knee. Untuck the back toes. Take a breath in to lift your fingertips high toward the ceiling. Good. Just one breath here, and then exhale. Plant your palms. Tuck your back toes. Lift your back knee up. Step back to a plank. Inhale here. Exhale, lower down to hover. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. From here, take a big breath in. Sweep your right heel to the ceiling. Exhale, bend into the right knee. Plant the right foot between the palms and drop the left knee down. Take a big breath in, sweep your fingertips to the ceiling. Right away, exhale, fold, plant your palms, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, step back to a plank. Inhale here. Exhale, lower down to hover. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths in your downward facing dog. At the end of your 3rd breath, you can start to walk your feet up to meet your palms, folding forward. Take an inhalation, lift up halfway. Spine is parallel with the ground. Exhale, fold forward. Come all the way up to stand from here. Lead with the heart. Press into your feet. Sweep your palms around and up. Gaze up. Exhale, pull the palms down in front of your heart. Good. So we're going to do that one more time on the opposite side. As you're ready, sweep your fingertips around and up. Gaze up. Start to fold forward by bending your knees, hinging from your hips, folding over your legs. Crown of the head drops down. Inhale, lift up halfway. Hands to shins or thighs. Exhale, fold. Step your left foot to the back of your mat. Drop the back knee. One inhalation sweeps your fingertips high. And then exhale, fold. Plant your palms. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, step back to a plank. Inhale here. Exhale, lower down to hover. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, sweep your left heel to the ceiling. Exhale, bend into the left knee, left foot plants between the palms. Drop the back knee. One inhalation, lifting up through your fingertips. Exhale, fold, plant your palms. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, step back to a plank. Holding here. Lowering down to hover. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Once again, 3 deep breaths right here in downward facing dog. And then as you're ready, start to walk your feet once again towards your palms and fold forward. Good. Coming into chair pose, Utkatasana. Start to lower your hips. So bend your knees so much that your hips begin to lower and your heart rises. So your hips are so low that your heart begins to rise. And then sweep your fingertips forward in front of you. And then just start to stack your shoulders over top of your hips. Good. Lean back a little bit more, stacking your shoulders over your hips, and sink down a little bit deeper. Take one more breath here, and then inhale, press into your feet, come all the way up to stand. Take a big breath in, fill your lungs. Exhale, let it out. Maybe do that again. Inhale, fill your lungs. And exhale, let it out. Good. From here, once again, sweep your fingertips around and up, gaze up. And exhale, fold. Inhale lifts you up halfway. Exhale, fold. Plant your palms, step your right foot to the back of your mat, and drop the back knee. If you did grab a couple blocks, go ahead and grab your blocks or books, whatever you got, and just bring them underneath your palms, either side of your front foot. So staying here and kind of setting up for our low lunge here, start to draw your left hip back. Draw your left hip back and bring your right hip forward just a little bit. So your hips are squaring to the top of your yoga mat. And then you can bring your hands to your left thigh, interlace your fingers, and just press your palms into your left thigh to kind of stack your shoulders over your hips a little bit. If this is feeling okay, sweep your fingertips to the ceiling, reach your fingertips high. And because we'll be here for a few breaths, if you arrive here and you're kind of feeling like your shoulders are bunching up into your ears, just cactus your elbows out to either side. And breathe here. Breathe into the front of your body and the back of your body. Good. One more breath in. Exhale, plant your palms either onto the ground or onto your blocks. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee up. So now we're in this kind of long runner's lunge type of position. Press down a lot through the center of your left foot. Stack your right heel over top of the right toes and reach forward through the crown of your head. Think about becoming so strong and sturdy through your legs that your torso begins to float and feel a little bit lighter. So maybe you kind of hover your hands away from the ground. Hovering here, maybe airplaning your arms out to either side. Or maybe reaching your fingertips in the same direction as the crown of your head. And your belly is just kind of barely making contact with your thigh. From here, let your hands come down to your blocks or to the ground and start to kinda, sorta straighten through your left leg. Good. So you might not get that left leg completely straight, and that's totally fine. There can be a bend in that left leg. Continue to draw that left hip back and then fold over that left leg. Good. Nice. Bend back into the left knee. Come back to that long runner's lunge position, reaching the crown of your head forward. Drop the back knee. Take a big breath in, lift up Anjaneyasana, coming back to that low lunge. One breath. Exhale, fold, plant your palms, and we're going to walk our palms back. Maybe our palms are on blocks, in which case we'll bring our blocks with us, kind of bringing our hips over top of our back heel. And then our front toes, our left toes, are going to naturally come away from the mat. Peel the left toes back towards the left knee. Lift up through the spine, so lift your heart away from your hips. And then maybe hinge at your hips, coming forward a little bit, if there's more space in that left hamstring. So even here, continuing to draw the left hip back. Always thinking about a neutral pelvis. Take one more breath here. Inhale, start to walk yourself forward. So come forward, stacking your left knee over top of the left heel again. Set your blocks off to either side if you've got them. Plant your palms. Tuck your back toes. Lift your back knee up. Step back to a downward facing dog. Hold your downward facing dog or pedal the knees a little bit left and right. Sweep your right foot to the ceiling with an inhalation. Exhale, bend into the right knee. Plant the right foot between the palms softly. And drop the left knee down. Good. Setting up for the opposite side here. So maybe grabbing your blocks and just lifting up into your low lunge. And then just start to experiment a little bit, finding some buoyancy in this pose. So when you press into the right foot, obviously the depth of this pose lessens. So you can press into the right foot and come out so you feel less in this left hip flexor. Or you can kind of release and really allow your hips to loosen and come forward, right? So you have this control. Find some sort of position with your arms, either reaching up to the ceiling or cactusing out, and breathe here. Being mindful here not to collapse into your low back. So continue to find length in your lumbar spine, your low back. Good. From here, take an exhalation, let your palms come down. Again, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee up, and find length through your body. Again, working on squaring the hips. Feeling so strong and so balanced here through the legs that the torso begins to float. Maybe coming onto your fingertips, Maybe airplaning your arms out to either side, continuing to press that left leg up toward the ceiling, or maybe sweeping your fingertips forward, overhead. Breathing here. One more breath. Bring your hands down to your blocks or to the ground and begin to kind of sort of straighten through that right knee. Again, bow over that right leg. Bend back into that right knee. Reach the heart, the crown of the head forward. Drop the left knee. Take one breath coming into your low lunge. Reaching the fingertips high. And then exhale, fold, plant your palms, and start to walk your hips back over top of the left heel. Again, those right toes are going to free away from the mat. Peel them back towards your nose. Lift up, lengthen through the spine. Stay here if this is enough sensation, or maybe hinge at your hips to fold forward a little bit more. Start to walk yourself forward once again to your low lunge, planting the right foot. Again, blocks can set off to the either side of your mat. Plant your palms and make your way to the top of your mat. Step your left foot forward and fold forward. Take an inhalation to lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Good. Take an inhalation, coming into chair pose once again, Utkatasana. So your hips begin to lower, your heart rises. You can even sweep your fingertips along the floor and then reach them forward. Plug your shoulders into their sockets and sit down a little deeper. As you're ready, press into your feet, come all the way up to stand. Land into Dasana, mountain pose. Good, so take a peek at your feet here. And just make sure your feet are right underneath your hips. And then just start to stack your body. Stack your body, your bones, the bones of your body. Stack. Roll your shoulders up to your ears and let them fall down your back. And again, just like we did at the beginning of class, notice the areas of your body, so the bottoms of your feet. Tune into the bottoms of your feet and let them kind of rest into the ground a little bit more. So your feet, your legs, even your hips become a little bit heavier. And then because your legs are heavy, the torso, the spine, the crown of the head, and the heart become light. And you can actually work with gravity here. Work with gravity. Allow your legs to be heavy in order for the crown of the head to be light. this concept of yin yang kind of working even in our bodies. Okay. You can blink your eyes open. We'll move through a little bit of balancing. I'm going to just adjust this camera so you guys can see me. So we'll move through a little bit of balancing. Transfer the weight of your body into your left foot and bring your right knee into your chest as high as it will go. So maybe it's still hip height. And just interlace your hands somewhere along this right leg and roll out through the ankle. One direction and the other. Good. And then let go of your leg and see if you can keep it lifted. Keep that leg lifted, let go, and reach your fingertips to the ceiling. Good. Hang out here for a minute. And again, notice how the more you press down through your left foot, the higher your right knee will lift, the higher your fingertips will lift. Okay, and then start to feel a little bit of buoyancy in this posture. So bend that left knee and come out again. And keep doing that. You know, you have control of this pose. And then kind of become a really small ball. So you're bending into your left knee and just give that right knee a hug. Just kind of give that right knee a hug. Imagine connecting into your core, and then inhale once again, lift your fingertips, right knee high. And do that a couple more times. Exhaling, kind of connecting in to that core fire, and then inhale, expanding back out. Maybe a couple more times like that. Good. And then from here, of course, if you need to drop that right knee at any time, go ahead and just meet us back in when you're ready. So from here, connect into your core and then expand back out, coming into a warrior 3 or scales, as we do in CrossFit. So expand back out, reach your fingertips forward overhead, and then exhale, connect into your core, and inhale, come back to that standing position. Once again, exhale, connect to your core. Inhale to your back scale or warrior 3. Inhale, exhale, connect to your core. Inhale, come up to stand. So keep moving like this, kind of with your breath, coming in and out as you need. Good. Move through 1 or 2 more here. And then let that right foot come down beside the left. Let that right foot come down beside the left. Return to Tadasana or mountain pose. You can kind of shake that off if you like. Maybe taking a big breath in and sighing, letting it out. And we'll move to the opposite side. Transferring the weight of your body to your right foot. Hugging your left knee into your chest. Remembering not to take yourself too seriously. It's just yoga. Rolling out through the left ankle. Good, and then keep that left leg lifted. Reach your fingertips up to the ceiling. And again, find that buoyancy in the standing leg. So you can bend, you can kind of hug that knee, and then you can expand back out. Okay, and we're gonna move into the same thing, opposite side. So I'm gonna connect into my core here, kind of find all that strength, all that fire, and then kick that left leg back, reach my fingertips forward. And again, exhale, connecting into core, coming up to stand. So I'm moving between these three positions, using my breath to guide my movements. Take 1 or 2 more rounds. And then as you're ready, let both feet come down to your mat. Come back to Tadasana. Even standing, even breathing. Good. Take your time coming back to Tadasana when you're ready. And again, roll your shoulders up to your ears with an inhalation. Exhale, just allow your shoulders to nestle down on your back. Maybe do that again, inhaling, rolling your shoulders forward and up to your ears. Exhale, allowing them to nestle on your back. Feeling just an ever so slight drawing back of your belly towards your spine. Just ever so slight. Lifting your heart a little bit higher toward the ceiling. Okay. Step back with the left foot. Really long here. Step back with the left foot. Setting up for warrior 2. Okay, so through the feet, we want to kind of make sure that the front heel is intersecting with the arch of the back foot. And the hips are quite open here, so we're opening the hips and then bend into the front knee. Traditionally, of course, this left knee is at a 90-degree bend, but it doesn't have to be. And then expand out through the arms. Good, and gaze at your right hand, index finger. So letting the gaze rest on the index finger of the right hand, the front hand, and breathing here. Good. Start to reach your right fingertips forward. So now our shoulders are leaving the stack of our hips, and just rest the right elbow on the top of the right thigh. Reach that left hand up toward the ceiling. You can stay right here and just breathe and hang out, stacking the shoulders, tipping the heart up. You might choose to go on by sweeping the left fingertips down and then overhead in the same direction as the crown of your head. And then if this feels okay, you might choose to drop the right hand down to the inside of the right foot. We're still working on stacking the shoulders, tipping the heart up. Good, taking one more breath here. And then without changing your legs at all, windmill your arms back up to warrior two. Good. So now we're in our warrior two. We're going to do a couple more transitions here. So free the back heel away from the ground. So free the left heel away from the ground and turn your hips to face the front of your mat. So now we're in this high lunge, reaching the fingertips high. Hanging out here for a breath or two. And then let your hands come down to the ground, either on your blocks or just on your fingertips. Bend into the right knee as much as you need to float your left foot away from the ground. So here we're kind of playing with warrior three again. Your hands will be right underneath your shoulders or right underneath your face here. And again, you might start to feel so strong and sturdy that your hands maybe just hover away from the blocks, away from the ground. Good. One more breath here. And then try to do it very softly. So try to reach that left foot back, 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 back. Reaching that left foot back until it softly plants back onto the ground. And again, we'll come out of this the same way we entered. Lift up through the fingertips, high lunge. And then exhale, spin that back heel down, coming back into warrior two. Good. Take a breath in here, and then exhale, windmill your arms down, free the back heel away from the mat, step back, downward facing dog. Good. Let's come down here to our knees. So drop down to your knees. Let your hips come over top of your heels. Take a child's pose here. Allow your forehead to rest on the ground. Send some breath into the back of your body. Let your hips be really heavy here. Okay, take an inhalation, come up to a tabletop position. Hands and knees. Tuck your toes, send your hips up and back, down dog. Walk your feet all the way up to meet your palms at the top of your mat and fold forward. Take an inhalation, lengthen out halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. So you're lifting the spine up to parallel and then folding forward once again. Nice, come all the way up to stand, lead with the heart, sweep your hands around and up. Exhale, Tadasana. Step your right foot to the back of your mat, setting up for warrior two. When you're ready, bend into the left knee, expand out through the palms. actually see the big toe of the left foot. Make sure you can see the big toe of the left foot, and if you can't, just draw that knee, the left knee, farther to the left so that you can. And then from here, start to reach the left fingertips forward, 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 eventually dropping the left elbow down onto the left thigh. And then like you're pulling back a bow from a bow and arrow, kind of pull and peel the right fingertips up toward the ceiling, stacking the shoulders, opening up through the heart. Choose to stay right here if this is enough. This is a perfect place to just stay and breathe and hang out. Or maybe you're sweeping the right hand, the fingertips of the right hand, in the same direction as the crown of your head. So now you're feeling this opening all the way down the right side of the body, from the fingertips all the way down to the foot. Again, choose to stay here and breathe. Maybe you're dropping the left hand down to the inside of the left foot. Check into your breath. Has going that extra step cut off your breath? If it has, if you're no longer breathing with ease, come back a couple steps. One more breath here wherever you are. And then without changing through your legs, windmill back up, warrior two. Good. Coming into that high lunge once again. So it's a transition and it takes some balance and getting used to. So as you're ready, spin onto the ball of the back foot, freeing the heel away from the mat and lift up through the fingertips. Good. From here, let your hands come down to blocks or the ground. Maybe walk that back foot in a little bit. And just play with warrior three, or the front scale or back scale here. So you're lifting the right foot away from the ground. Again, hands are underneath the face here. So we're not shortening the torso, keeping the torso really long. Good. So imagine your floating leg is just as strong as your standing leg. Turn all 5 toes of the right foot down toward the ground. Good. Let your fingertips come down and reach that right foot back, 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 back. Coming up, lifting up into your high lunge. Exhale, spin that back heel down, warrior two. And then windmill your arms down, free the back heel away from the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths in your downward facing dog, lifting your hips high. And then come down onto your knees. Come down onto your knees and sink your hips back to your heels. Bow your heart down. Come back to your child's pose. So the hard work of our practice is done. Return to the rhythm of your breath if you've lost it a little bit. rolling your head from side to side across your mat a couple of times. And then if you'd like to, I'll invite you to bring your hands together on your mat, like a prayer. And then you can bend into the elbows so that the thumbs make contact with the back of your neck. Reach your fingertips back out long. And slither forward onto your belly. So just come onto your belly from here. Make your way onto your stomach. Good. And bring both of your hands onto your low back. So stack your palms one on top of the other and bring them both onto your low back. And turn your head to one side. Turn your head to the left. Turn your head over your left shoulder. And adjust your hands if you need to so that your right palm is over top of the left. Your palms are facing up toward the ceiling. Okay, so as you're ready, start to sweep with an inhalation. Inhale and sweep your right hand around and forward to the front. So you're looking forward, maybe there's a little bit of a lift through your heart and you're reaching the right hand forward. Exhale, turn your head to the left and sweep the right hand all the way back to its starting position. We're going to do the opposite side. This takes a moment to get used to, but once you do, it'll feel easy. Sweep your left hand around and in front. So now there's a little lift through the heart. You're reaching the left hand forward. And then exhale, turn your head to the right. Turn your head to the right and bring the left hand back to its starting position. So now we're gazing over the right shoulder and we're ready to go through the right side. So as you're ready, take an inhalation, sweep your right hand around and forward, reaching forward, heart reaches forward, and then exhale, turn your gaze to the left, right hand comes back to its original position. One more time on the opposite side. Inhale, sweeping the left fingertips forward and around, gazing forward. Exhale, sweeping that left hand back, gazing right. I want you to do this a few more times on your own. So go ahead when you're ready. So try to really synchronize the movement of your gaze and your hands together. So as that hand sweeps forward, your heart will lift. They'll reach their end point at the same time. And again, all of these movements are guided by the breath. Take one more round on both sides. One more round on both sides. And then when you're all done, just stack your palms now underneath your face. Let the elbows come wide and just turn, resting one side of your face down onto your stacked palms. And give your hips a little wiggle here. Let your hips just wiggle, releasing any tension. And then turn to the opposite side of your face. Now you're resting the opposite cheek down. Okay, bring your palms underneath the shoulders. And press into your palms, press into your knees, lift up to a tabletop. And then sink your hips back to child's pose. From your child's pose, start to walk your palms back towards your knees. And then move your heels off to one side, hips off to the other. And swing your feet around and in front. So setting up here, extend your right leg out long and bend through your left knee. And cross your left ankle over top of your right thigh. Place your left hand behind your low back. Take a big breath in, reach your right fingertips high toward the ceiling, lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, twist and turn and hook the right elbow to the left knee. Lengthen through the spine with every inhalation, and maybe twist a little bit deeper with every exhalation. Good. Gaze back in front. Unhook the elbow from the knee. And we'll transition to the other side. You can either just switch your legs, or you can try something kind of fun, where we'll bend into the right knee, bring the right knee to the left hip. And then from here, if you want to try this, just stand up, kind of stand up onto your feet and turn all the way around. Turn all the way around and sit back down. So now we're in the same position, opposite side, and then extend the left leg out long. Don't worry if that didn't make any sense. It's okay. Hug the right knee in, place the right hand behind your low back. Take an inhalation, lengthen through the spine, and then we're going to translate this length into a twist. Exhale, hook the left elbow to the right knee. Inhaling for length. Exhaling to twist deeper. gaze back forward, unhook the elbow from the knee, and just let the legs come out in front. Good. You can windshield wiper through the toes a little bit and make your way onto your back from here. So just lay down onto your back, give your knees a hug into your chest. Let both of your feet come down to your mat. Let the heels come really wide, about the width of your mat. So if heels are really wide, and then open your arms out into a T position. And let both of your knees fall to the right. Let both of your knees fall to the right, and gaze over top of your left hand. I just want to mention, guys, we are a few minutes over, like it's past 11:15, it's about 11:20 right now. So if you need to go ahead. We're just going to close our practice from here. Take an inhalation, bring your knees back up through center. Let both of your knees fall to the left. Gaze over your right palm. Bring your knees and your gaze back up through center. And give your knees a final squeeze into your chest. And just check into your body and figure out if there's any last movements that you'd like to take. Any areas that are holding some tension that you need to work out. Go ahead and make any last movements, take any last movements that you need. Otherwise, just extend all of your limbs out along your mat. Extend all of your limbs out long. And if you have space around your mat, use the space. You can allow your legs to go wide and your hands to go wide on the edge of your body. Maybe turning your palms to face the ceiling. And press into your elbows a little bit and just nestle your shoulder blades more deeply onto your back so that your heart has a little rise to it. Allow your toes to just fall out effortlessly to either side. Relaxing every muscle in your body. Feeling your pelvis relax and expand and release. Take rest here. I'm going to come and get you in a few minutes. Start to deepen your breath and wake the body up once again. Start to find some movement through your body again. So starting slowly, wiggling out your toes and your fingertips. And just waking the body up in any way that feels good and supportive. As you're ready, you can roll onto your right or your left hand side in a fetal position. You can use your bottom arm as a pillow for your head and just take a few breaths here. And then as you're ready, you can start to press yourself up to a seat. See if you can do so with your eyes still kind of closed. Make your way to a seat on your mat. And then just allow your chin to bow slightly towards your heart. And this is a moment here to honor yourself. And then as we prepare to honor each other by saying namaste, I just want to make a little note here. The meaning of namaste is simply, I honor you. I honor you. So with that, let us honor one another. We can say namaste.